The only way you can't get on first base is if you strike out, and very seldom you strike out and the catcher misses the ball. You shorten up to the standpoint that you have to hit the ball, and I don't know if I could play today the way these guys are playing. And there's some great players out there today, but there's too many guys striking out 180 times a year.
Imagine being the king of your sport, on top of the world, adored by millions, only to have it all come crashing down in one of the most shocking scandals in sports history. That's exactly what happened to Pete Rose. He went from breaking records to being banned from the game forever. But what happened next might just be the most surprising part of all. When baseball turned its back on him, Pete Rose didn't fade away. He built an empire, one rooted in controversy, hustle, and a relentless drive that refused to be stopped. Stay with us as we reveal the rise, fall, and the controversial business empire of the legendary Pete Rose. Pete Rose wasn't just a baseball player, he was a force of nature. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, he grew up knowing one thing: you had to fight for everything, and fight he did. Rose didn't have the raw talent of some of his peers, but he made up for it with sheer willpower and hustle, earning him the now iconic nickname Charlie Hustle. When Rose debuted for the Cincinnati Reds in 1963, no one could have predicted that this scrappy kid would go on to break Ty Cobb's all-time hit record. But Pete had something to prove. He sprinted to first base even on walks. He was the guy who would bowl over the catcher if it meant scoring a run. His play wasn't just passionate, it was fearless. By the end of his 24-year career, he had amassed an incredible 4,256 hits, making him the all-time hits leader, a record that still stands today. But here's the twist. As Rose climbed higher and higher, there was a dark side to his relentless drive. While fans were cheering for his hits, something far more dangerous was brewing in the background. Pete Rose's determination on the field made him a hero, but that same competitive fire would soon lead him down a dangerous path. Could it be that his greatest strength was also the seed of his downfall? Stay tuned, because the scandal that changed everything is coming next. By the mid-1980s, Pete Rose was not just a player, he was a legend. As the player-manager for the Reds, he commanded respect on and off the field. But as rumors began to circulate, it became clear that there was something more to Rose's story. In 1989, the truth finally came out. Pete Rose was betting on baseball games. Even worse, he was betting on his own team. The revelation sent shockwaves through the sports world. Rose, who had spent his entire career chasing greatness, now found himself on the wrong side of history. The evidence mounted, and despite years of denial, Major League Baseball had no choice but to act. In August of 1989, Pete Rose was handed a lifetime ban from baseball, a punishment that stripped him of his chance to be enshrined in the Baseball Hall of Fame. For a man whose life had been defined by hustle and success, this was the ultimate defeat. But if you thought that was the end of Pete Rose's story, you'd be dead wrong. Pete Rose didn't just lose baseball, he lost his legacy. But did this scandal crush him? Or did Charlie Hustle find a way to turn disaster into opportunity? Stick around, because Pete's greatest hustle was yet to come. Banished from the game he loved, Pete Rose did what he had always done. He hustled. But this time, it wasn't on the baseball field. This time, it was in the world of business. Rose became a fixture in Las Vegas, where he turned signing autographs into a massive money-making venture. Fans still adored him, and Rose was smart enough to know that controversy sells. At places like Caesar's Palace, fans would line up for hours just to meet the Hit King and get their memorabilia signed. And Rose? He cashed in, big time. His autograph business became a revenue stream that kept him relevant and wealthy long after his playing days were over. But that wasn't all. In a move that shocked many, Pete Rose entered the restaurant industry, opening the Pete Rose Bar and Grill in Las Vegas. The restaurant wasn't just a place to eat, it was a shrine to his baseball career. Fans could dine surrounded by memorabilia, reliving the glory days of Charlie Hustle. Though the restaurant eventually closed its doors, it was yet another testament to Rose's ability to turn his brand into a business. Despite the scandal, Pete Rose kept moving forward. But was this just another chapter in his story? Could he possibly reinvent himself again? Keep watching, because Rose's drive never stopped, even when the world seemed to turn against him. Even as Pete Rose built his empire outside of baseball, one thing haunted him: his exclusion from the Baseball Hall of Fame. Over the years, Rose fought to clear his name and reclaim his legacy. In 2004, he admitted in his autobiography, My Prison Without Bars, that he had, in fact, bet on baseball games, hoping that honesty would open the door to his reinstatement. But despite the confession, Major League Baseball remained firm. Pete Rose's ban was never lifted, and the Hall of Fame doors remained closed. Yet, Rose never gave up. He made countless appeals to be reinstated, with fans and former players rallying behind him, arguing that his on-field achievements deserved to be honored, regardless of his off-field actions. But while the debate raged on, Rose continued to build his brand outside of baseball. He remained a divisive figure, loved by many and loathed by others. Rose's Hall of Fame battle became one of the most contentious debates in baseball history. But with his passing on September 30th, 2024, could baseball finally forgive him? Is this the end of the fight, or will Pete Rose's legacy be debated forever?
Baseball legend Pete Rose has passed away. His death just confirmed by the Clark County, Nevada medical examiner.
On September 30th, 2024, Pete Rose passed away at the age of 83. His death marks the end of an era, a final chapter in a story filled with triumph, scandal, and controversy. As the all-time hits leader with 4,256 hits, Rose's place in baseball history is secure, but his exclusion from the Hall of Fame leaves an indelible mark on his legacy. In the years following his ban, Pete Rose became more than just a baseball player. He became a symbol of controversy, resilience, and hustle. He proved that even when the world turns its back on you, you can still find a way to thrive. From autograph signings to business ventures, Rose built a post-baseball empire that few could have predicted. But now, with his passing, the question remains: will Pete Rose ever be forgiven? Will his contributions to the game overshadow his mistakes? And will baseball ever open its doors to Charlie Hustle? Pete Rose's story is one for the ages. He was a hero, a legend, and a man whose competitive spirit knew no bounds. But he was also a man whose decisions led him to one of the biggest downfalls in sports history. And yet, through it all, Rose never stopped hustling. He built a business empire in the wake of scandal and kept his name alive in the hearts of fans. With his passing in 2024, the debate over his legacy will only grow louder. But one thing is certain: Pete Rose's mark on baseball and business will never be forgotten. If you've been inspired by Pete Rose's relentless journey from hits to hustle, hit that like button, subscribe to Revenue Racers, and drop a comment below. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? Let us know what you think.